Hi there, it's Gemma, a story and a song, and I am coming to you today with one of my mid-year videos, this one being all the 5-star reads that I have so far read in 2019. So far 2019, we're now in July, about halfway through July. I have read 80 out of my 100 books challenge on Goodreads, of which I have given around 18 of them 5 stars. Now this is a mixture of fiction, of non-fiction, and there's a couple of cookery books and graphic novels thrown in there as well. So a little bit about how I rate things personally. I think for me, a decent book or an average book is normally about 3.5 stars. If I think something is really excellent, I'll give it 4 stars. And for something to get 5 stars from me, it has to have something really exceptional, has to have captured my imagination in some way, it has to have something a little bit different. That to me is a 5-star read. I know that's not maybe how everyone does it, but that's how I do it. So my first 5-star read of the year was actually a non-fiction book, and that was Queer London, a history of gay London from the Romans to the present day. And just what it says on the tin, it goes through the history of being queer in London from Roman times right up until the present day. I just thought it was a really good idea to cover one city and focus on it so completely and get a picture of how the queer population has lived in that one city over a period of time. If you like LGBT plus history, I would thoroughly recommend it. So book number 2 of my 5-star reads was also non-fiction, and this one was Severed, a history of heads lost and heads found by Frances Larson. I really liked this. I found it through the Order of the Good Death website. I'm obsessed with things to do with death and funerals and all that kind of stuff. As I've said before, it was my speciality when I did my degree in anthropology, and I've been fascinated by it all ever since, and long before that. I may actually do a video about my favourite death related books. Let me know if you would like to see that. But Severed is about the head as a totem, about the head as a relic, about the power that head without the body can still have. And it covers a lot of very famous heads, but also a lot of how heads have been used as totems in war, and had quite a large part about the Vietnam War, Second World War, things like that, which I thought was really interesting. And I would thoroughly recommend it if you too like morbid things like me. Then I moved on to Hetty and the Midnight Hour by Carrie Vaughan, which I also gave 5 stars. Now, this one is one that I might need to defend my 5-star rating of, because I don't think it's one that people might traditionally rate 5 stars. But I thought it stood out from a lot of the paranormal romances that I have read, because that whole alpha male trope was shown to be unhealthy. I liked the way it focused on Kitty's career, I liked her personality, I liked the writing. I just thought it was really good and deserved 5 stars. It really sort of lit a fire under me reading and got me out of a reading slump that's lasted for something like 2 years. For like a couple of years, all I've been reading is fan fiction, which, not to belittle fan fiction, you know, I think fan fiction is a great resource, and Archive of Our Own is like the best website on the internet. But I'm glad that I've gotten back into reading full-size novels again. And this really helped lift me out of that slump, and for that I gave it 5 stars, and I'm very grateful. I've read quite a few of the other ones in the Kitty Norville series, and I have the rest waiting to be read whenever the mood strikes. So after Kitty Norville, you could say that my reading slump was finally conquered, and I finally picked up the Raven Boys series. Now, I did like the Raven Boys, the first book, but it was a bit slow for me, and I think I gave it 4 stars. I still thought it was really good. But then I read The Dream Thieves, which focuses on Ronan Lynch, who is my son, my dreamer son. And I loved The Dream Thieves. I thought it was really different. I thought that it gave the rest of the story a lot of good background. And I'm really looking forward to Call Down the Hawk, which will focus more on Ronan. and I loved him, and yeah, I gave it 5 stars, and it really sort of pushed me through the rest of the books. I mean, I liked Gansey, but he wasn't my favourite. Ronan is my favourite. Then I read Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo, and I gave this 5 stars. I was definitely on a hype train. A lot of people that I like and whose reviews I trust gave this really great reviews. So I went into it definitely feeling that hype train. And I liked it. I gave it 5 stars. I thought it was something a little bit different. I liked Leigh Bardugo's writing style. I liked Alina. I liked The Darkling. I did not like Mal, but whatever. I still haven't read the rest of the series, but I will get there. I will get there eventually. But still, 5 stars from me. My next 5-star read was The Company of Death by Eliza Hansen, also known as the Maven of the Eventide here on YouTube. She has one of my absolute favourite YouTube channels. I think she is adorable. I love her reviews, and also helped me get out of this reading slump because she was recommending so many good vampire novels, and it was her who recommended the Kitty Norval series as well, so very grateful for that. The Company of Death is about, I don't want to spoil anything really, but it's like a road trip novel with a personification of death and zombies and vampires and a bisexual, asexual protagonist. It's awesome, and you should definitely read it. Get on Kindle, get the ebook, support small independent authors. And then my next 5-star read after that was Herding Cats by Sarah Anderson. I needed a little bit of a laugh at this point. I was having a bit of a slump in my mental health, and I picked up these on Scribd so that I was still reading, but it wasn't anything that required my attention too much. I find Sarah Anderson's comics really funny and really relatable, and I think that this is the best collection of them so far. So then my next 5-star book was the Keto Aldi cookbook by Martina Slajarova, and I love this cookbook. I use it all the time. Some things that Scott and I eat like every week are from this cookbook, and I think it's got a lot of variety and some different things that the other keto cookbooks or recipe channels don't always cover, and also it's a lot more accessible to European and British people doing keto as well. So if you're doing keto, I highly recommend it. It's really worth the price tag. It sold out briefly after a documentary that was aired on ITV that used the book, so I think you can still get it on Amazon now though. So then I read Caitlin Doughty's book From Here to Eternity, Travelling the World in the Search of the Good Death, and I loved this. Now again, I love books about death. I love books about funeral rituals, how we deal with grief, how we, honour people that have gone before. And I think Caitlin Doughty has a really good and really respectful way of talking about non-Western traditions that doesn't always shine through in other people's work, let's just say. I think she has a really good standpoint. And also at the end of this book, she has some tips on how to be a good Thanos tourist, a good death tourist, how to be respectful, which should really be common sense, but this is humans we're talking about. And there are some places in there that I would love to go and love to see, but in order to be respectful, not many people can probably see it without it being ruined. So it's good to read about it in detail and just get that experience from someone like Caitlin. And she's got a new book coming out this year as well, which is questions about death asked by children, which I will definitely be picking up. So then, my next 5-star book of the year was God's Grieve by J. Christoph. I loved this book. I've done a full review on it as well on the channel. I talked about how I think it's got such amazing character growth, how it went from, the assassin school trope into this whole gladiator school, and it was amazing. I love Mia. I can't wait for Dark Dawn in September. I'm sure it's going to be amazing. I will probably read whatever J. Christoph writes in the future as well, based on how much I love Dark Dawn. Then my next 5-star read was Red Sister by Mark Lawrence. Again, a school setting, again, nuns, again, assassins. With a cool twist, a cool sci-fi twist, and Nona Gray is an amazing protagonist. She is very non-traditional, not a stereotypical strong female character. And I love to focus on her friendships, all that kind of stuff. I just really love Nona, and I love the supporting characters. It really sucked me in, and considering I had this sitting on my Kindle for ages and put off reading it, I was pleasantly surprised. And I think my next 5-star book after that is actually Grey Sister, which I read immediately following Red Sister, and it basically follows more of Nona's life and gets more into the conflict that's central to the ongoing plotline. So if you like sci-fi, if you like fantasy, if you like cool female characters, school settings and assassins, you'll like Red Sister. I just know you will. And I read Holy Sister as well, which unfortunately only gave 4 stars, but still really good, but I just didn't like it as much as I liked the first 2. And what was next? So next was The Wrath and the Dawn by Renee Ahdieh, and I was so ready for a good romance. I was 100% chef's kiss ready for this. I think the writing's gorgeous. I think it's an amazing storyline. I like the characters. I like the supporting characters. I'm not that fussed on a lot of romance. I don't like insta-love, all that kind of thing. But I really liked Shazzy and Khalid's romance. Shazzy and Khalid's romance was very sweet. I liked it. The sequel was okay, but it had a good ending. But The Wrath and the Dawn is definitely a 5-star read for me. And then onto my most recent 5 stars. I gave Soquel Girls by Claire Legrand 5 stars, and I talked about it in my sort of gushing video about it. I think Soquel Girls is a brilliant sort of contemporary fantasy, female-centred, great representation, solid pacing, and I just recommend that everyone reads it really, and I don't think you'll be disappointed. Then immediately after that, I read Sadie by Courtney Summers. Sadie has been talked about a lot on BookTube, and for excellent reason. It's got very high ratings on Goodreads altogether. I liked the format. I thought the format was a bit different. I loved the story, and I was completely devastated by the end. So my most recent 5-star read was actually one that I read for the Bookie Trials, which I'll do an update on, and that was Red, White and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. I was ready for it. I had been promised great things, a very sweet romance, a very cool story, and I was not disappointed. It's a male-male love story with one of the protagonists being bisexual. I love a good bit of bisexual rep, and it's just really well written. It's a really nice romance. It's not cheesy, it's not insta-love. It has a very hopeful, great ending, and I just think it's great to have books like that for, you know, LGBT kids. You know, we've come so far. You know, we've come from E.M. Forster publishing Maurice, you know, not being able to publish Maurice while he was alive because he felt that people would not accept a happy ending for a gay love story, to now to being able to read Red, White and Royal Blue. And, you know, things aren't perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but I think it's awesome that we have gotten to this point. And I loved Red, White and Royal Blue, and I will definitely read whatever Casey McQuiston comes out with next. So luckily we're only in July. I have plenty of time to pick up another 18 5-star reads this year. I hope I do. I would love to know what your 5-star reads are, and if you have any recommendations for me. I'm always up for recommendations. So until then, I hope you're all having a fantastic July, and take care. Bye bye.